Hello again. This is the second video in this short series. In this video, we will focus on the situation in South Africa at the time, which basically gave rise to the creation of this policy of racial segregation called apartheid. This being a very wide and complex subject, which in no ways one can deal with in a short video like this. So what I've done is used screenshots from my personal website, tianahatting.com, to serve as prompts in us thinking about this subject. So I would invite you to go and visit my website. On the dashboard, you will find a link to a page called Apartheid, and you can read a very extensive essay on the subject. So let's look at the main reasons for such a separation of peoples in South Africa. Firstly, we have to remember that at the beginning of the 20th century, there was what was called the arm blanke vraagstuk, the poor white problem. It was first noted at a Dutch Reformed Church synod in 1886, and this dominated the South African society for decades. The causes for the poverty is unclear. Many blame the inadequate educational system, massive urbanization at the time, as well as low mining wages. Some blame external events such as the rinderpest virus, a cattle plague of the 1890s, which all but decimated the cattle stocks of the country. Others blamed it on the aftermath of the Anglo-Boer War, which was from 1899 to 1902. Secondly, we have to look at the political gain for the leaders at the time. Hendrik French Verwoerd, who was born in Amsterdam, was prime minister from 1958 to 66, and he is seen as the father of apartheid, and he rigorously developed and applied the policy of apartheid. In my view, apartheid was the political mechanism used by him and later by his and later governments at the time to ensure that the wealth and prosperity generated in the country would be utilized for the benefit of the white minority that were very poor at that time. The second reason is religion. The third reason. We don't have time in this video to go into this aspect, but we cannot underestimate the role of religion, and more specifically the influence of the Dutch Reformed Church in this matter. So in South Africa, we also have a massive wage gap between the haves and the have-nots. The amount of natural resources found in South Africa are just mind-boggling. Gold, for example, 30% of the yearly world gold output in 1993 was from South Africa. Diamonds, in 1 year, 14 million carats of diamonds were produced in South Africa. Platinum, South Africa is by far the world's largest producer of platinum, some estimated at 70% of the total production. Chromium, um, 100% of the world's total production. Coal, immense deposits lie mostly at easily mined depths all over the country. Uranium, South Africa has been the second largest reserve of uranium in the world. Um, in the hands of ingenious and hard-working Europeans and assisted by discriminatory laws giving them substantial advantages, the situation in the apartheid era resulted in an ultra-prosperous economy and enormous levels of wealth for the white minority. This is a map of South Africa showing the distribution of all these resources. Um, but then we get to apartheid. South Africa is the only country in the modern era where apartheid blatantly and brutally became the official policy of the government of the day. This happened mainly from 1948, and laws were started to emerge that segregated people. As mentioned above, the main aim was to ensure that the overwhelming portion of wealth generated in the country from these riches was spent on improving the living conditions of the white minority, while allocating tuppence on uplifting and developing the living conditions and opportunities of the other races, black, colored, Indian, and so on. And this led to apartheid. However, it is not this phenomenon that caught the attention of the world. Instead, it was the racial segregation, often called plain apartheid, small apartheid, that eventually led to its demise and to change in 1994. Just to recap, in the first video we looked at the term apartheid. In this second video we looked at the situation in South Africa, and in the next video I will look at American society, which is basically for the benefit of people that are not so familiar with America. And the last one, of course, we will look at the present situation, and more specifically at Trump's apartheid. Thank you very much for watching, and stay safe.